Welcome back to another edition of Vikings Film Room, brought to you by the Vikings Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Pete Bercich. The Minnesota Vikings made a huge splash in free agency, bringing in defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson from the New York Giants. Now, the Vikings were able to lure him into Minnesota with a 2-year, $22 million contract. Really, let's face it, to come in and help shore up that defensive line and stuff to run. However, Dalvin Tomlinson, in his interview, mentioned he likes to get after the quarterback. Well, let's take a look at the film and see exactly what Tomlinson brings to the table and why I feel every single Viking fan out there should be very excited about this new addition. One of the first things you want to look at as a defensive lineman is just their strength, how well they can hold the point. And one thing about Tomlinson that's very, very impressive is his pad level. He plays with his knees bent. He gets himself underneath the pads of the guys in front of him. And in football, the low man wins, especially in the trenches. And on this first play against the San Francisco 49ers, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. When the ball is snapped, if you freeze it, you'll see that the center is able to snap the football and get his head across Tomlinson's face. But Tomlinson has that left foot planted in the ground, and he's able to bench press and turn the center to make that running back have to cut back a little bit more quickly. Tomlinson could come off the block, get in there, and then get back on the ground and get in on that tackle. So to get penetration and make a running back make a decision is so important. In the next play, you'll see the same thing again. The center snaps the football. If you pause it, you'll see that the center gets his head across Tomlinson, but then Tomlinson is able to push him back and force him behind the line of scrimmage, and that's the key. He forces the cutback and is able to come off and make the tackle. That is an unbelievable play. Next play against the 49ers. Very similar look to the play that we saw earlier, but this time they try to keep this football front side. You'll see Juszczyk, the fullback, stay the front side. The running back stays the front side. But on the snap of the football, you'll see what Tomlinson really does to the center. He takes him and presses him back into the lap of the running back. The penetration, that's moving a pile. That's moving guys up front. That's moving bodies. That's what this Vikings defense needs in run defense. Next play against the 49ers, another zone play on the outside, and you'll see just how well Tomlinson plays this. As the center will snap the football, gets his head across, but then Tomlinson has the strength to press. His hands are so strong, able to turn the offensive lineman, get off that block, and then get in on the tackle. I mean, he's one of the best zone run defenders that I've seen in quite some time. So every once in a while, you'll see him at 3 technique. Again, over the center. This time he gets double teamed, and he's able to hang in there, hold up against the double team, get off that block, and then make the tackle. So running on those zone plays, he does a great job, and then also being able to hold the point of attack on a double team. He has that size and that strength. Against the Dallas Cowboys, you see him, he's basically at a 3 technique in alignment, but this is a stunt. He's coming underneath. You'll see the guard bump him up to the center. You'll see his left arm. And just the push that he's getting, that's leverage, that is strength. Not a lot of defensive linemen in the league have this. That power, the ability to turn a center and do those things is amazing. Okay, so you're going to see a counter. The guard blocking down, has the angle. Tomlinson's able to hold that, stop from being collapsed, and then cross the face of the tackle, and then get in on the tackle. So that's a tremendous play. He's getting blocked from one angle. He's holding his gap, making sure the running back takes care of his job, gets off the face of the guard, and then gets in on the tackle. Again, against the Washington football team, this is the bear front, right? He knows as soon as that guard blocks down and he sees that guard pull from the other direction, he wants to get over the top. So he sees that in front of him, gets that left arm in there, just heaves the guard across his face and gets in on the tackle. So that's a very, very smart play. A lot of strength needed for that kind of a play, and he has all those things. One of the things I love is the Washington football team here has this thing blocked. So you'll see the guard influence himself. The tackle comes up on the linebacker on the right side, on the right tackle comes up. But Tomlinson on the turn back block by the center, he doesn't lose any ground. He just keeps pushing. You can see him with that left arm on the right shoulder of the center and getting that long arm technique in there, just taking care of his gap, but knowing that if that running back goes to the front side, he's going to get across face. But one of the things that Dalvin Tomlinson mentioned in his press conference is the pass rush. Here's a play against Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton now with the Chicago Bears, so Dalton will be seeing this guy again. But this is just a nice move to get up on that center, gets the center going one way, rips across, boom. Shortest distance to a quarterback is right over the center, and he was able to do that on that play. Against the San Francisco 49ers, again, as a zero nose, rushing up the middle, just that nice quick step to the right, wide, dip the shoulder, keep the pads low, gets a hit on the quarterback and forces the incomplete pass. So that's the kind of pressure. That counts as a pressure, but that pocket pressure, that gut pressure is really what gets quarterbacks and makes them inaccurate, gets them the heebie-jeebies. They get nervous. It's a beautiful thing. All right, last year against the Detroit Lions, Ragnow at center. Another guy he might see again this year, but just that nice pivot step to the right, swim move, one-handed, brings down the quarterback. I mean, that is excellent, and we've seen it a couple plays now where when he's isolated one-on-one with the center, he has the juice to beat a guy. Now, in this next play against the Washington football team, he's lined up as a 3 technique. He takes this guard and pushes him back, but stays after it, gets in, and that was one of his 3.5 sacks from last year. It's just the power, the ability to lower his base. And again, here against the Arizona Cardinals, right? He's right over the center, and he's collapsing that pocket on Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray will feel like he has some space and then try to escape, but that quickness and the breakaway, once Tomlinson breaks free, he's still quick enough and agile enough to bring down a Kyler Murray in space. So when you're playing an Aaron Rodgers, it's very, very important to be able to get after a mobile quarterback. Finally, against the Dallas Cowboys, this is him lined up at 3 technique. And when he's at 3 technique, he displays a little bit more of a power, kind of a bull rush. But he takes this guard and just absolutely buries him on his way to the quarterback. So he has that power, has that ability, and again, so good with his feet, so good with his hands. He's unique in his strength. He's unique in his pad level. He's unique in his leverage. You get this guy hooked up and working with a guy like Andre Patterson, I think his potential is much higher. Hasn't missed a game in 4 years with the New York Giants, so he has that durability, that week in and week out play and getting better. I'm really excited to see what this young man's going to do for this defensive front.